Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and our bonus content still going on. Now, what is also still going on, obviously, is the Sudoku Hunt number 2, which is proving incredibly popular. I literally can't believe I'm recording this in the morning, and this is less than 2 days after we released the hunt. We've already had nearly 100 correct solutions. Unbelievable. Well done to those people who have achieved it. Also, as usual, well done to all our setters for sending us puzzles, because I love the variety we get. This one is one I don't think we have ever attempted on the channel before. It's called a pathway Sudoku. It's come from Tom Groot Cormelink, who is one of the authors for an excellent site that I don't believe we've ever mentioned before. Tom didn't ask me to mention the site, but he did say that that's where the puzzle would go if we didn't make it into a video. But I would like to advertise wcpn.nl, which I think stands for World Class Puzzles Netherlands, and that tells you everything you need to know about the site right there. So Tom is Dutch, obviously, and has sent us this pathway Sudoku. Now, the rules are these. As well as normal Sudoku rules, there is a path in the grid, by which I mean you could draw a line through a number of cells. For instance, it could go this way, then this way, then this way, then this way, and so on. So this path does not overlap or cross itself. At every junction, every bend in the path, so the corner, let's put it that way, at every corner in the path, one of which is marked in the green cell in the grid, the number in the cell tells you how many moves you make along the path in the new direction. So if that came down to here, we have to go 5 in the new direction to there. That would give us a 3, which would move us up to here, and we don't know what number would turn us left or right at that point. So this is a continuous pathway through the grid, like a loop. It comes back to itself at the end, and those are the rules along the path. So that's the puzzle. Do have a go on the link below the video. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to start now. So let's get cracking. Let's do some regular Sudoku first. There's a lot of givens. So that 1 puts a 1 in this box into one of those two. These are quite useful patterns, actually, because they feel quite restrictive, because any cell like this 3 that's looking into 2 of the cells must appear in the other 2 empty cells. So we can put a 3 in one of those. That gives us a 3 up there. Now I just did the same with a 1 here. Is there anything else? Yes, 7 is looking into those. So 7 appears here. Down here, 39752. So 8 is in one of those. That's all there. And this one, 47298. 5 must be in one of those. 3 as well. Hang on, let's finish off with the 5s, because 5 being there gives us a 5 in the grid up here because of that 5. 1 there, that one, and that one. Now 3 is looking at those 2 cells, so we can fill it in over here in the box, which gives us a 3 somewhere down there. It hasn't been quite as much as I expected from those patterns. You normally get quite a lot of help. I've just spotted a random naked single there. 9516 in the row, 3428 in the column. The only other number is a 7, so that must be what that is. Gives us a 7 down there, and a 7 in one of those 2. I'm really just putting off looking at this path, to be honest, because I have a feeling that's going to be the bit where it gets interesting and where it messes with your head a bit. We'll see. I hope I'm being a bit unnecessarily worried about that. I don't know, I'm just looking for anything else that's really shouting out in the grid as a useful starting point. That 5 hasn't really limited much in the middle. I guess we'll come back to it. Let's have a look at this path then. We'll start with this 5. Now, as I said, it could go across to this 3. It depends. Yeah, it's worth knowing that this path is kind of one way. It's not 5 that way and 5 that way. It comes in from some other number. Actually, if it was 5 this way, that would go to a 6, which would go to this 9, which is impossible. 9 can never be on the path, because how could you turn 9 cells north or south from there? So the 5 isn't going that way. The 5 is going this way, and therefore the 3 is on the path. I'm going to colour that green. Let's make the path bit blue. I'm avoiding yellow. I know green and yellow is a problem for colourblind people on our software. So what I'm doing is making the corners green and the straight bits blue, because we can't cross that. Now 3, that must go up. So it goes up to there, which we don't know what number this is. Ooh. Oh, well, that's quite interesting. We do know it's either 1 or... Oh, yeah, it can't be 3. Look, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all looking at the cell. 6 is too big. If we went east 6, we'd come out of the grid. So this must be a 1, actually. That might help us a bit with the Sudoku. We've got 1 there, 1 there. I mean, I'm thinking 1 doesn't immediately help us because we don't know which way it turns. So I'm trying to use it for the Sudoku instead of for the path. Now that gives us a 3, 6 pair there. 1, 5, 8, 9, 3. So 2, 4 is one of these, but that could still be 6 or 7. So it certainly hasn't done any finishing up of the Sudoku. Now 9, actually, look, there's 4 9s looking into the central box. So 9 in the central box can definitely be placed. As always, when you spot those 4 numbers looking at a box, you can place that number and it doesn't really help you with anything else. 2, 4, 7, 8 and 3 must be up there, but we don't know much. Oh, 6 can't be. I'm going to fill in all the pencil marks in this box, just, oh, not like that. Just because, not like that either, just because it might help at some point with clarifying in the central box. Now, am I going to have to take that 1 on? This can't be a 6 if it was to go left, because that's too much. Now, what can this be? 3, 7, or 8? And 7 and 8 are too much. So, whichever way the 1 turns, it turns into a 3. Which would bring it down to there. That's impossible. That 7 is too much. Oh, and look, this 3 would bring it down into a 9 or up into a 6. And from the center, they're too much. So this 1 must turn into this cell, and it must be a 3. So we're actually getting information about digits in the grid from the path now. And that 3 we worked out can't go down here. It must go up here. But we don't know what number that is. 1, 2, or 4 from ordinary Sudoku, looking at the numbers in the column. Actually, it can't be 2, because that would either turn into here, which would take it 6 down and hit the path, which mustn't cross or overlap itself, or it would take it here, which would take it here, which would turn back into the path. So that can't be a 2. It could be a 4 turning to there. 6, 9, 1, 2, 3, 5. No, it couldn't actually. So I've deduced this is 1, 2, or 4 from Sudoku. We've just ruled out 2 because of what would happen to the path, and it would have to turn back into itself. Now, if it was a 4, that would bring it to here. This couldn't then be a 1, 2, 3, or 4. 6 would be too much, would turn it back into the path, and a 5 would bring it down to the 9, which is impossible. So that must be another 1. But still, we don't know whether it turns left or right. But again, maybe we can make the deductions. This would have to be 2, 4, or 8. 4 or 8 are too many, and 2 would turn it into the 9, which is impossible. So it must turn into this cell. Again, 2, 4, 5, or 8. 8 is too much. That would take it out of the grid. So 2, 4, or 5. Well, it can't go into the 7. because that would either turn into the path or out of the grid. So 4 or 5. And now I may be missing some Sudoku. Actually, these 9s, they're all givens. So again, there's a 9 just given in the grid. Actually, from the very first moment of opening the grid, I could have finished off all the 9s. I don't think it helps with much else, but could have done it. Let's do a bit more Sudoku before deciding whether this is a 4 or a 5. Actually, let's not. That would have to be a 1, clearly. But even there, it would have to be a 1. So wherever this turns, it turns into a 1 in one of those two cells. Then that 1 would turn into this cell. It can't turn into there. 5 is too many. 8 is too many. 8 is too many. It must turn into this. So this is a 1. This is a 5. That made this one a 4. And we're following the path rather brilliantly all that way. The 5 must turn right up to the top here. And this is now a naked single 6. That's lovely. So the path has gone all the way up to the top of the grid. And then it's turning 6 left to this cell. Ooh, and we don't know so much about that. 8 would be too many, but it could be 3, 4, or 5. But surely we've got enough cells in the grid to make some Sudoku progress. Here's the last cell in column 1. 4 in this box has to be here. So this is a 2, 6, 3 triple. Let's just fill them in where they have to be. And 6 in one of them. Okay, so 2, 6, 3. So we've got 8 and 5 up the top of the column. That gives us a 2 there. So 5's now been ruled out. That's good. This is... Let's just keep going with the Sudoku. I have a feeling that we've got quite a lot more information that we didn't have. 3 in row 4 must be here. That's a 1-8 pair. This must therefore be a 7-6 pair. 7-6 pair. Ooh, that's going to help with this, isn't it? Yes, because the 4 alternative would take us into a 7 or 6, which is impossible. So this must be a 3, and it comes down to here. Wow, and we can blue in the path. Now, 2 turns into either here, can't go up, but it could come down, or here. Oh, that could come down. Okay, so leave that for the moment. 4 now, because of this 4 in box 3 has to be in one of those two. That puts 4 here on the path. Not that that's relevant. That gives us a 4 in one of those. 8 and 5 to complete column 7, so 8 there and 5 there because of the 5 in the box down here. 4, 7, 8, 9, 5, 1, 6, 3 in row 3 must be here. 7, 9, 3, 5, 2. 4. 4 in column 6 must now be here. So let's get rid of the 4s out of there. We can also get rid of the 3s out of there. What have we got? 2, 6, 7, and 8 left to place. They're not resolved. That's quite surprising. Right. No, 5, 9, 1, 3, 7. It's quite impressive that this puzzle hasn't given up. Now 8 is ruled out of both of these cells, so it must be up here in one of those two. Ah, look, yes, there's 8 in one of these two cells, so that's going to resolve the whole of the central box, because now this is a 6. That makes this 2, 7, and 8. Now, 2 and 4 in the column 5. That gives us a 4 over here. I think this is going to help with the path again in a moment. Anyway, 4 and 8 there. That's an 8. 2 and 7 up here, I think. That 8 has resolved 1 and 8 there. 7 and 6 has been resolved for a little while since we did the middle. 1 and 8 down here. I think we can finish off the Sudoku now. This is a naked single. 2, 7 and 2, 1 and 7, 6 and 3. Sorry, this is the stage of the puzzle where you do keep advising me I go a bit too fast. So sorry, if you're struggling for any reason, pause the video. Anyway, that is the Sudoku. Let's finish off the path. 2 there can't go into this 8, so it must go to this 3. That 3 must now turn down to a 4. Look at that. That 4 turns right to this 1, and the 1 turns down into the 5 to complete the path. And there is Tom Groot Cormelink's Pathway Sudoku completed. Let's just hit the check button to make sure I haven't entered anything wrongly. And I hope you enjoyed that. Quite an entertaining solve, in my opinion. That's good fun. I was wondering if at some stage we were going to have to go backwards on the path and work out what number could hit this 5. Yeah, that's interesting. It couldn't have been 2 in this column, because that would have had to have been in this cell. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I suppose 7 was... No, not possible because of that 7. So you could have kind of gone at the path backwards, possibly, and made some progress working out where it had to come in from and deducing that that 1 had to be the place. So 2 ways, I think, of getting at that Sudoku, but most entertaining. Thanks very much to Tom. And I hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.